Hello. Here we go here. I shut everything off a little while ago, thinking that maybe I should go do something else. And then I came back so quickly because I knew how much fun this is to be in the media. Oh, Rob and Doug Ford, look at me. Aren't I great? Or at least as great as you? President Obama. And are you and our Prime Minister Stephen Harper as close, friendly wise as I'm thinking? I'd love to share some of you guys' meetings just to see what you actually say off of the camera together. Is it just a showpiece, more or less? Or do you really have a job, guys? Honestly, when it comes to getting paid, it sure looks like you have a job because your lifestyle is so much upper class than what I have. And speaking of most of the other people, the two that I was talking about, secondly, of the prime minister and the president. You see how secluded I am comparing to how big the world is, and I hardly talk about any other world leaders other than the two we have in this hemisphere of South and North America, or America and Canada, or the United States and Canada. But not that I ever thought I would be saying that right now. I just used the washroom very quickly before I came on set. My thing is to keep telling the world about how you, as people, are responsible for me not having a huge bank of my own. I may look and sound like a real facade of a begging type of woman trying to get some attention. And yes, those are very true. But even more so, the truth is coming through your mouth just as fast as mine as you think it in your mind. You know what you're responsible for. I thought of something so wonderful that made me do this video, and its wisdom from the Bible is where it started. It said in the Bible somewhere, the really good Bible people who have read the Bible over and over several times, and they're still reading it for another time, very honored by you, because I know my own dad, Mr. Passed On Harry Forsovich, who probably is God the Father over all of us. That man was incredible. I wish he were standing right here and I could give him a big hug, because he was that kind of a nice man, and nobody had ever said anything wrong about my dad, and I know why. I was one of them that never did, because he was that amazing, and he was that sweet, and he was that loving, and he was that kind, and he was that wise, and he was that patient, and he was that forever unforgettable type of man, and handsome. I've seen pictures, well, a few, but I remember one, and I wish I still had it. I don't know whatever happened to it, and I don't even know who had it. But I remember seeing a picture of my dad as he was a young man, probably just getting married at that age sometime in his life, because he lived, I think, he died at 86 years old, which was a good amount of years to live anyway. And for such an incredible dad, and had so many grandchildren, he should have never died. Such an amazing person. Just his looks, he was extremely a handsome man, and so he had everything. He had everything that any man could ever want, except, I'll bet you, he's a lot like me. He wouldn't have minded more money. And I always start smiling when I think of that, because if I don't become wealthy with money across the world, across my life, during my lifetime. I say that money is definitely not everything. Most people believe in the same rule, in the same logo. It's that famous, money is not everything. Everything is everything, correct. And so when we look at what we need, money is just a side thing. Money is a way that you can buy everything. It's a multi-purpose product. And so the very intelligent people of the world created money. Guaranteed, I believe that. I'm so glad I found a way to get the glare off. And so this helps a little bit, but then look at my glasses, how they're tilted. I'll have to see the video after and see how angled that is. A little bit, yeah. Okay. The points I make are so treasurable and precious to me about why I started this recording and what it says in the Bible about, oh, let me think. I have to do a lot of sorting in my mind to remember why this all started, what this all started from, what policy in the Bible belongs to it. It's not the do unto others. That was my other video. This one, I believe, and I'll think of it. I'll just keep talking until I remember. The fact that you're accountable, because I now remembered that you know as people what you do wrong. So the Bible verse which says, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do. Yes, if they pee on a toilet seat, try to forgive them, but they still know what they do wrong. Most people do, and if you don't, you probably should have a guardian or a caretaker do your booba for you in the public washrooms especially, because I know that I have to always wipe the toilet seat off before I use it 9 out of 10 times. And the TTC Kipling Avenue station has a really good staff of cleaning people. The cleaning ladies that clean that one washroom, practically you won't find another until you get to Yonge Street Station. They're that scarce. I don't know what those builders were thinking. They went home every time they had to go. I can't believe they left such a big spot unwashed in so many businesses. I guess those business owners, I'll repeat again, I thought in the past, made that mistake because they were the only ones who ever went to their business, because they're the only ones who ever owned it. And who cares about the men who build it, for God's sake, and the customers thereafter? So what? Not that they're going to go on the street, I hope, but they hold it in and never fart, never say nothing. They can use a bathroom every couple of hours if they really have to. Wait till you get home and then go. Satan's that mean. Satan is that fair. The evil men around the world are that cruel and foolish, believe it or not. And I think you believe it, because you see it happening every day, the same kinds of things that I'm speaking of. And it's wrong, unfair, and Father is not going to forgive them for what they do, because they know it's wrong. It's against the law. It's against your policy of what you'd like someone to do for you. Would you like if somebody stole the money that belonged to your entitlement? No, you would not. Neither would God's Son Jesus. Neither would Kathleen Forsovich. Neither would the neighbor next door. So you are responsible for making me poor. I'm telling the whole world, even as Kathleen Forsovich, because this is a major business adventure, only not. It's required for world peace, world love, world fairness, world equality, justice in the courthouse, making people healed of that cancer instead of those laser beds, giving people what they require in needs of common daily fulfillment, sharing everything properly and wisely and equally. So you are responsible for making me poor and in poverty, and you are also responsible for pushing me the toil of a whole lifetime of full-time work in this because nobody else will do it. You now know that. I'm claiming, and who else is doing it? I'm proving to you that you are a thief, and on God's side not. You are an antichrist, still sucking hold to Satan's government. And so these governor owners are very, very, very guilty of not paying their toll-free not. No, you owe God and myself, and I'm glad that you agree and that you pay. If you do not, we know as the Father and the Son, and probably a lot of other mankind realize they agree as well. You know, we can't say she's wrong because she is adding up the holy word to what she's realistically living through and speaking of is truly understandable. So therefore, this is why I do not feel guilty in telling you that you will lose. You will not take forward your net worth, no matter what value it is in the share that you own throughout the world. You won't take it into God's kingdom of heaven because you haven't signed yet. So I can't do anything in the enforcement other than say it's up to God. If he has wrath or a natural disaster or just a good healing for whom he wants healed and whom he wants sick, then he'll dish that out, and whoever comes for either or will receive, I believe. So you're very wise to take my wise words and say, come unto me. Come unto me and pay what I'm asking because I've got something good in exchange for your money, but also I do not want your money that much, especially if you want it more for something else. I recommend what I like people to give me the freedom of and say, Kathleen, you don't have to buy that just because they said it's mandatory. Don't buy it, but you won't get it. Like if I don't renew my driver's license, then I'm not legal to be driving. Same sort of aspect. If I don't pay for the burger, fries, and milkshake, then I won't get the free pop either. So no matter how many sales they put available to you, if you don't buy it, very unlikely that somebody will just say, here, go for free. Same within my Father's house. No man shall enter through his holy gates if they do not pay him. I am his only begotten Son, who has the rights, the authority, and the will of love for him to guide his biggest business over all the world, especially for the evil people, should they know how they can get saved and how they can get rid of their evil sin and how I can learn to get rid of any and of mine, any and of the ones that I have to learn that are sin that I'm not aware of. I'll have to learn to get better myself, and so they're helping me to do that. The people that do believe in Jesus, though, oh, I feel sorry for you so much because that you are not buying. I almost feel sorriest for you because you feel a certain way and you're not telling me how that is. And so your faith is too weak. And the evil Satanists are so bullet happy, strong, and hard that you're not doing what you should do just because it makes them feel less guilty. So be careful. Do unto God as you'd have him do unto you. Amen, says Jesus. And me, Kathleen,